Dear Church, we have been on this COVID-19 fight for the past 18 months already. And in each stage of the fight, I believe God teaches us different lessons. And what are the lessons to learn at this stage now in Phase 3 Heighten Alert, where COVID fatigue has pretty much set in for many of us here. Now, in this month, heart-to-heart talk with your elders, now allow me to share my thoughts of what COVID-19 is teaching me, alright? Now, recently we hear of the COVID-19 transmission that led to a huge cluster at the Bukit Merah view that could have taken place through long queues and surface toilets, says the Ministry of Health, MOH, on the June 18. Now, when it comes to good food, right, self-control really becomes a problem for all of us. You know, we really will queue for food. I mean, we will queue for durians, you know, we queue for our favorite prawn noodles. And the multi-ministry task force continues to urge us to stay disciplined as a nation. In other words, to really exercise self-control or self-discipline. Now, boy, this becomes even more important for us in such an environment, right? Now, what is self-discipline, you may ask? The Greek word for discipline refers to the power or lordship. So, self-discipline then means to exercise power over oneself. In other words, to be self-controlled or having self-mastery over one's thoughts, speech, and actions. Therefore, self-control and self-discipline are synonymous. In Christ, self-control is part of the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22, verse 23 says that. Now, Christ is our vine that produces the fruit on the inside of us. What that means is this: it's the divine grace that fills the believer, producing self-control. So the question is, does the Bible give us a picture of how self-discipline really looks like? Now, you know, Tokyo Olympics is going to happen really soon, with thousands of athletes gathering to compete. And Apostle Paul used the analogy of the athletes training for ancient games for self-discipline in our walk with God. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 25 says this: every athlete exercises self-control in all things. The athlete must go through the strictest discipline of rigorous training if he ever wants to stand a chance at winning. He must pursue a proper diet, sufficient rest, and continuous repetitive drills, and every area of his life must be brought under control. So for us Christians, it applies the same. Paul instructs in 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1 to 7, train yourself for godliness, and to pursue holiness, a believer must hear biblically sound preaching and teaching in the gathering in corporate worship and celebrate the Lord's Supper together with fellow believers. That is the spiritual discipline, and we have to keep at it as long as we are Christians. In other words, for life. This kind of self-discipline is a rebuke to half-hearted Christians who do little to train as an athlete should. The result is a lack of self-control, yielding to the fleshly desires. In other words, we are producing Christians with flabby faith are seriously out of shape spiritually. Paul continues on in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 27. He says, I do not box as one beating in the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control. So a boxer of champions quality has clear goal in the ring, but an undisciplined one throws wild punches that never land on his opponent. We do see that self-discipline has physical as well as spiritual implications, right? Therefore, as we go through the pains and suffering of this ongoing pandemic, it really pays to be disciplined in areas by our eating, our sleeping, our time management, our spending, as well as our Bible reading and praying and fellowshipping together. And we take care of both our physical life as well as our spiritual life as a very serious athlete, by what Apostle Paul would have described. Therefore, for us to succeed in exercising self-control, we must relinquish the control of our lives to Jesus Christ. Now here is the irony of the Christian life. Irony is this: we must give up the control of self if we would gain self-control. Isn't that so? So this is my personal reflection during this Phase 3 Heighten Alert time. I hope that this blesses you. And so, the next time you want to join that long queue for your favorite food, perhaps it is time to think about self-control, yeah? Stay safe and bless you, church. Amen.